Breaking right now, King Charles has lashed out at Prince William behind the scenes for risking leaving the British public with a, wait for it, King Harry and Queen Meghan. So I'm going to take you through the details of this astonishing row, which has been revealed in a bombshell new royal book. Unfortunately, the publication of which and Prince Harry's decision to go on a rival tour to Canada this week has overshadowed somewhat some of these incredible images of Prince William at the Earthshot Prize. But of course, we are going to luxuriate in them as we go. We'll also get reaction today from our royal mastermind, Prince Harry and Queen Camilla's biographer, Angela Levin. But first, to this astonishing glut of revelations, how Charles reacted when difficult William asked if he could do fewer engagements. This is biographer Robert Jobson revealing the tension, secrets of Catherine's family life, and how the couple are making Prince George strong. But actually, for me, the biggest revelation was confirmation of a story that I have revealed for some time. Huge worries, really, fears, like terror within the British royal family that Prince William could be putting the monarchy at threat by continuing to transport his family together in helicopters, meaning that if all of them were wiped out, Harry would end up becoming king. And let me take you through Robert Jobson's reporting on this. He writes, palace sources recall all too well an incident when the prince was over-assertive with his father over a matter that William had completely misinterpreted. Even senior aides are known to tread lightly around the prince, mindful of his mood swings before attempting to raise sensitive issues. William may always appear to be composed in public, but insiders describe him as occasionally difficult to handle. According to close sources, the king believes William is sometimes hasty and too quick to dismiss sage, well-meaning advice. In early 2024, Charles was horrified to learn that William had flown his entire family in his helicopter, a habit that had already alarmed the late Queen. Had there been a fatal accident, and let's just remember, that happens more often than you think in helicopters, Harry would have immediately become heir to the throne. No one can prevent William from flying with his family if he wants to, but Charles wanted to drive his point home. So after his cancer diagnosis, he revisited the issue, instructing senior aide Sir Mike Stevens to obtain William's written acknowledgement of the risks. William refused, and his curt reply was sharp enough for Sir Mike to report it back to the king. These are not trivial matters for a king who has always loathed confrontation. The best way he has found of dealing with his elder son's occasional impetuousness or obstinacy is to delegate. What this means is that the monarch will often leave senior aides to raise tough work issues with William. Then there was the blip during Charles's meticulously planned coronation in 2023 when William turned up a few minutes late. The king was annoyed. His son's excuse was that he had been busy filming a video for his social media about the big day. Still, at least William had donned the correct ceremonial garments for the ceremony. As Charles knew, his son hadn't wanted to wear them at all, but he had conceded in the end for the king's sake. There has been no give at all on another clothing issue, the donning of a kilt. William refuses ever to wear one, despite holding various Scottish titles, including the Duke of Rothesay. For Charles, wearing a kilt is more than merely a tradition. It's a vital symbol of Scottish identity and of the crown his son will one day inherit. The king has repeatedly urged him, yet William won't budge, says the senior source. William has made it crystal clear to his father and to courtiers, even to Queen Elizabeth in her later years, that he is not in the traditional royal mould.
In an explosive new revelation, King Charles has reportedly lashed out at Prince William, furious that his son's actions could risk turning public opinion in favor of Harry and Meghan. According to sources close to the palace, the king warned that the last thing Britain needs is a King Harry and Queen Meghan scenario, a nightmare that would devastate the monarchy's image around the world. But William, described as horrified and defiant, insists he's right to protect the crown's reputation from what he calls the Sussex circus. Royal watchers say this could be one of the most serious father-son clashes in recent royal history, and it's all been laid bare in a shocking new book shaking the monarchy to its core.
Instead, he has redrawn the line between duty and family, at least until it's his turn to wear the crown. Now, there's much more to come from this book, but Angela Levin, let's jump in here. Because, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't give a damn about Prince William not wanting to wear a kilt. That seriously doesn't bother me. For me, I just think Charles worry about bigger issues. That's William's decision. Where I do agree with the King, Angela, is that it is completely irresponsible for William to transport his whole family on helicopters, as we have been saying for years, because we have a very ill king who sadly will not be around for much longer, and the prospect of a King Harry and a Queen Meghan. I mean, come on, it would end the...
When I first heard that, the first one he went on, I thought, he's raving mad. He can't do that. You don't know what can happen in a helicopter. I'm frightened in a plane, and I just sort of doubled up about it. And for several nights, I was having a nightmare about it. And it just kept running through me. I think this is ludicrous. This is nonsense. We can't allow a whole family to go, but two, we don't want Harry and we certainly don't want Meghan. So you have to be sensible. And I think you could do it in a nice way. The one child goes with his father.
But Charles tried and William refused.
Yeah, well, you just have to say, let's try and find a good way of doing it, that the children would like it. I can't imagine that his wife wouldn't be sensible about that at all. I mean, she's a very strong, sturdy woman, very helpful, knows about how to live within a royal family, and yet she didn't actually say that. Why not? I mean, they can be split up. Anybody can, but, they don't go far with the helicopter, but it could be absolutely dangerous. I agree with you, 150%.
I know, and it's not often that I'm highly critical of William and Catherine. I think they make great decisions on the whole, but this is not one. Charles is right. William should not be on a helicopter or a plane, to be honest, or even a car with his entire family, because he cannot risk leaving the monarchy to Harry and Meghan. Absolutely not. By the way, Angela, it was sad to see King Charles today. I mean, a happy moment presenting or, officially making David Beckham a knight. But, oh, goodness, he looks so pale. And Robert Jobson does have new details about Charles's cancer diagnosis. He writes, since making his cancer public, the king has been reduced to tears, not by his plight, but by the thousands of warm letters he has received. Some were cards clearly made by children and covered in glitter or accompanied by a get well gift of Smarties. After years of a program from those who adored his late wife Diana, Charles was simply overwhelmed to learn that so many cared and wished him well. Indeed, his longer-serving staff have detected a change in their employer, whom they feel could occasionally seem rather cold. He's now become emotional, they say. Not only that, but he's changed some of the habits that once seemed set in stone, largely due to advice from Dr. Michael Dixon, a seasoned NHS GP and advocate of complementary medicine, who was appointed head of the Royal Medical Household after Queen Elizabeth's death. William, too, has urged his father to slow down and learn to listen to his medical team. So Charles now takes regular afternoon naps, and he's started having lunch again, often spinach soup, after skipping the meal for most of his life. Before being diagnosed with cancer, he had been typically stoic about his mounting levels of pain. Months before his condition had worsened so dramatically, says a royal aide, that a doctor was summoned. The king was given morphine, fitted with a catheter, and taken to Aberdeen Hospital. The cancer, however, was not discovered until a few months later, in January last year, while doctors were in the process of treating the king for an enlarged prostate. A few weeks down the line, it was announced that the Princess of Wales was also suffering from an unnamed cancer. Having two leading members of the royal family struck down at once seemed a malign twist of fate, and Prince William was shaken to the core. And then Robert Jobson moves on to a very interesting point, one that will give a lot of hope to those of us who have been worried about Prince William's lack of love for the Church of England, because he writes, as the year progressed, both he and Catherine became more religious. Never known as a regular worshipper, William now attends church more frequently than in the past, though as privately as possible. Last year, he also told his father that he wanted to cut his own official royal engagements back to 10 for the rest of 2024, but the king refused his request. Think again, he urged. Although Charles often jokes with friends about reaching that worryingly decrepit stage of life, he has continued to work hard while continuing his cancer treatment. Meanwhile, Queen Camilla has stepped up the number of her engagements, emerging as a steady force during a time of royal uncertainty. There's a little dig, though, in regards to the video that Catherine released once she was in remission from cancer. And Jobson writes, the footage showed the Wales family affectionately enjoying time together in Norfolk on the beach and in the woods, and many found it moving. Queen Camilla's reaction, she was deeply relieved, of course, at Catherine's recovery, but according to a senior household source, she also joked with friends, very much tongue-in-cheek, that the video was like a shampoo commercial. These days, William and his father generally work well together. The king happily consults them and largely trusts them to do what is right, but there is often an underlying tension between them. It doesn't help that both have a fiery temper that's not always held in check. Working for Charles, some staff say, can be like treading on eggshells.
In an explosive new revelation, King Charles has reportedly lashed out at Prince William, furious that his son's actions could risk turning public opinion in favor of Harry and Meghan. According to sources close to the palace, the king warned that the last thing Britain needs is a King Harry and Queen Meghan scenario, a nightmare that would devastate the monarchy's image around the world. But William, described as horrified and defiant, insists he's right to protect the crown's reputation from what he calls the Sussex circus. Royal watchers say this could be one of the most serious father-son clashes in recent royal history, and it's all been laid bare in a shocking new book shaking the monarchy to its core.